Hi, yeah, I'm just wondering when
If you're
my
a
next...
customer, press 1. If you're a driver, press 2.
Speak to a representative.
Your movie starts out, the guy's looking, he just wants a break. His
Yeah.
landlord's calling him, his wife's calling him, they've got a baby, and he doesn't have any money. And so he's doing this ride sharing. And then he gets an opportunity to make a lot of money doing ride sharing.
Yeah.
And he takes it, and you can see his whole demeanor shifts. It goes from kind of wide eyed to then, what the hell have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
I work for a startup that's looking for people, and I think you might be the right fit.
If you're calling about something else,
Speak
you
to a
can
representative.
check out our website.
What kind of startup?
It's an app, like that one. How much better is the pay? A lot.
It definitely started from a place of wanting to talk about like the sort of fragility of making ends meet in the gig economy. And like I think like even as a filmmaker, I've had, you know, it's been an interesting few years of trying to make ends meet that way. Just it's as fragile as any other industry right now. And so I think that was fueling a lot of what I was trying to talk about in the movie. When I was researching the movie and writing the like my first draft of the script, I spent a lot of time lurking on the message boards, the Reddit threads of like for Uber drivers and Lyft drivers, and just sort of absorbing their stories, and it sounded pretty harrowing.
There's a few policies we should go over.
New job.
With the budget in mind, I knew that a road pick was one of the more interesting types of movies I could make for what we could afford to do. But I didn't want to make a conventional one, I guess. And so the idea was if we sort of take a thriller route and find these things like the app as a source of tension and like really simple ways to ramp up the tension of this guy's life without having to involve big set pieces. I felt like we could make an interesting movie for almost no money.
Listen to what the app tells you to do. Always.
Turn right. Turn left. Stop here. Deduction.
What?
Deduction.
If you turn down a job, you lose all your money. Just, most importantly, you have fun.
What character do you see yourself most in? The app, the driver,
I think
his boss?
Yeah, I think I'm probably the driver. I think I hope to think I would make more moral choices than he does. But as I was writing it, I think I would make like he's sort of the a less flattering version of myself, maybe. Like someone who's I hope that I'm a little bit smarter and a little bit better of a human being than he is. But I think the idea was to make this guy an everyman and like write someone that I could see myself in making these decisions that we might not be asked to make these like such violent decisions, but every day in this economy, regular people are asked to make moral decisions, and it's really hard to make the right moral decision when you have all these other sort of elements sort of against you.
I remember in college studying psychology, and there was a famous scientific experiment where they wanted to see how far someone would go. So there'd be a person in one room, and the subject would come in, and they'd say, okay, here's a knob, and you ask the person a question, and if they get it wrong, you push a button
Yeah.
and they get a shock. So eventually they keep going, keep going. And the guy said, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Keep going. And eventually the person stops screaming in the other room.
Yeah.
It's kind
What
of like,
is that
that's your
the
story.
Milgram? Yeah, exactly. That was I like part of the idea for sure is this sort of faceless thing giving him permission to do bad things because there is an authority telling him that this is the thing he's supposed to do, and so he relinquishes a bit of his humanity to this app.
You are what you do. Drive around a car all day. You're a car. You are a car. You were replaceable. There's 100 million of you. You have no value. The minute you drop dead, another dude just like you is going to step into your goddamn shoes.
I always sort of knew where I wanted to end up, And so for me, it was like about creating this character that and creating a path for this character to get there in a way that felt natural. And so like if you sort of made the guy that we meet at the beginning do what he ends up doing at the end, I don't think anyone would sort of believe that. But each sort of episode within the movie I knew could I'd have to ramp it up a little bit, ramp up what he's asked to do and ramp up the tension with sort of each new character he meets. And so it was just sort of a game of like tweaking each step to make it sort of I guess to make it believable that he would do that, and then to make you as the audience like almost root for him to do the next bad thing, even though it's a little bit worse than the thing before. You want him to you want him to make that money, but you don't want him to like sell his soul. And so the tension was always sort of between him making ends meet and like ultimately sort of selling out, selling his soul.
What's interesting you say that because in the business that you've chosen, a lot of filmmakers and writers and actors do sell their soul.
It's tough because I think like you go into this industry with a dream of getting to make movies, or if you're an actor, being in these big things. And if someone comes up to you with this like golden opportunity, and that's the thing you've been aiming for your entire life, I imagine it would be hard to turn down, even if it means selling your soul.
How do you know when it's time to reveal a plot point or a shift in where the film is going?
My instinct is always don't show an audience the same thing twice. If like two scenes do the same thing, the second scene has to add like either amp it up or change the tone or change the perspective so that there's always some sort of progression. And sometimes it's harder than others, and I think my movie has some repetitive beats, but my goal is to make something that is always like shifting so that you're as an audience member, you're constantly being fed new information.
The press notes said it was a horror film. And when I saw that, I go, oh, it's going to be violent.
Right.
But yours is more psychological. It's not a lot of in your
Yeah.
face
I don't
gore.
know that I would call it a horror film, but I guess so that's I mean, in this day and age, that's sort of how every movie gets sold because it's the more lucrative, the more lucrative avenue, you know. That's where in the indie space, horror movies are what the only ones really making any money, it seems like.
Do you like playing in this kind of a scary, suspenseful space?
I think I like playing with tension, and that's I think and atmosphere and tone. And I think so there's a lot of room to do that in the genre horror space. The violent stuff doesn't really like excite me. I think the level of violence we have in this movie is where I'm comfortable and using it as like a very specific note that we don't overplay and use it again to like ramp up tension when it's sort of earned, but not going over the top. But I think the sort of psychological game of the movie and that type of thriller is what I'm more interested in.
Thank you, and best of luck with Self Driver, and we look forward to your next film.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for taking the time and helping us get the word out. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Okay,
All
have
right.
a good day.
Have a good one. See
Bye.
ya.
Sounds like you want to speak to a representative. Just hang tight. One of our team members will get to you real soon.
I think my biggest sort of learning curve was this side of things. I knew the technical side of how to make a movie and work with actors, but how to sell it and promote it has been a real learning curve. And I'm realizing that when you do a movie like this, you have to be carrying it on your back the entire way because no one else is gonna lift that load for you.
Did you have that I'm pinching myself moment when you finally got it in the can?
I work for a startup that's looking for people, and I think you might be the right fit.
If you're calling about something else,
Speak
you
to a
can get our
representative.
website.
What kind of startup?
It's an app, like that one.
How much better is the pay?
A lot.
Hi there. Thanks for calling Rumor.
Hi, yeah, I'm just wondering
If
when
you're
my
a
next...
customer, press 1. If you're a driver, press 2.
Speak to a representative. Speak to a representative! Speak to a representative! Speak to a representative!
There's a few policies we should go over.
New job. Proceed to the roadway.
Listen to what the app tells you to do. Always.
Turn right. Turn left. Stop here. Deduction.
What?
Deduction.
If you turn down a job, you lose all your money. Most importantly, you have fun.
You are what you do. Drive around a car all day. You're a car. You are a car. You were replaceable. There's 100 million in you. You have no value. The minute you drop dead, another dude just like you is gonna step into your goddamn shoes.
Sounds like you want to speak to a representative. Just hang tight. One of our team members will get to you real soon.